What is good? Osiris here. Good morning. Merry Christmas, everybody. It's feeling a little bit more like Christmas.
Beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
Getting closer to that day. If you don't celebrate Christmas, happy holidays or just happy December to you. Appreciate it. Rank choice voting is disgusting to me, and it's something that I entertained when I was blue-pilled. And now I've seen the world. I'm kind of like Neo, and I'm seeing the code of how everything works.
Always look at it encoded?
Well, you have to. The image translators work for the construct program. All I see is blonde, brunette, redhead.
Ranked choice voting is terrible. I have not been. Please, if you feel differently, I definitely need a counter on this because I haven't seen anyone come close to helping me counter this. I'm more entrenched. Let's get over to middlemaga.com. I have a blog up. It's not really a blog. It's just some bullet points, but you can just see the topics. And if you want links to the articles that I reference, go to middlemaga.com because there's not a lot of writing here. It's just notes for the show. Here's what happened. Georgia could be the next state to try ranked choice voting. That's what they're looking at. And that got my spidey sense tingling.
She was like at 2:00 in the morning. Spider sense start tingling.
After a bruising Senate loss, Secretary of State, this is swamp scum at the state level, uniparty slime. 2024 opened my eyes to these people. Georgia's GOP, from Kemp on down, they are slime. Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger is open to alternatives, and he's trying to sneak this in because he knows it's not popular. When we look at ranked choice voting, whenever someone poses something, the first thing I want to know is what problem are they trying to solve? If I don't agree with the problem they're trying to solve, then your idea is irrelevant. You might have a good idea, but let's connect it to the right problem. And that's very important because if it doesn't solve the problem, then we can both look at it and analyze it properly. So I want to know, what's the problem that they're trying to solve in Georgia? Currently, Georgia is only one of two states that requires runoffs for both primary and general elections. So if someone doesn't get 50% of the vote, then you've got to narrow the field down to the top two, and then obviously one of them will get the majority, the plurality of votes. So they're spending a lot of money. It's short time where they have to turn it around from the election to the runoff. We're seeing that happen more frequently as the country is kind of more divided, and that's where they're going with this. I do understand the state spent millions to conduct the second election, including more than $10 million. That is a legitimate $10 million just in the Atlanta metro area alone. That is a legit problem to solve. The first problem is not legit. So the problems that Georgia Republicans are trying to solve is that the state is spending millions on a second election. Well, that's a simple answer. You don't need to have a runoff. Why are you? Well, it's like them in Louisiana. Why do you have a runoff? You don't have to have that. That could be a way to solve it. Whoever has the plurality, meaning just the most votes, wins. I don't care if they have 44% or 55%. You can do that. Why are you scared of that? That seems pretty simple to me. They have a Democrat senator. Now, it is a uniparty state, but there is battling within the uniparty. So when I say uniparty, that just means you're in the NFL. MAGA is outside. They're the alternate league. What was it, the XFL or whatever?
Well, folks, he's got the most popular nickname in sports.
He hate me. He hate me.
MAGA's like the XFL. Republicans and Democrats are in the NFL. MAGA's trying to get into the NFL, and they are trying to keep them out. But when you're in the NFL, that doesn't mean Pittsburgh Steelers don't battle with the Browns and the Browns want to beat them. So they are concerned about, in the uniparty, losing power. The state is red throughout. Red House, red Senate, red everyone all the way up to governor, except for you've got Warnock, which is really odd to have him win as senator. Why? Maybe we could do a Rumble video on that, and it would go into some details on why. Let's just say the last general woke me up to this state. They're concerned about Trump's influence, populist influence. And that's why they would prefer Warnock over Walker. Don't get it wrong. Don't get it twisted. I know Brian Kemp did this fake, endorsement of Walker. They didn't want Walker to win because Walker was endorsed by Don Dada. So the problem that they're trying to solve is we're spending too much money. We've got so much of a Don Dada influence that we would rather have a Democrat win a Senate seat. So how do we stop all that? Speaking to the New York Times last week, Raffensperger proposed solutions. He said he would petition the state legislature with 3 separate proposals. I think there's only one they really want. They want to hide it. One would force large counties to open more locations for voting early. I don't know what that's a fake. That's not what they really want, okay? That's just not what they really want. So forget about that one. Another would lower the vote total needed to avoid a runoff from 50 to 45%. They don't want that either because that actually would give a Don Dada, America First type candidate a more likelihood to win. So those first 2 proposals are lies, in my opinion. Remember, we're dealing with politicians.
Everything they teach you in school is a lie. You want the truth? The world is controlled by shadowy elites and shape-shifting lizard people.
They're very sneaky, very sleazy. A lot of them are lawyers, just dirty, scribe. They will do anything to win. The third proposal is what he really wants, what they really want. Raffensperger will also have state lawmakers consider switching to a ranked choice ballot for future elections. Let me tell you, without going too deep dive, why that is a huge, huge problem. And my take on this is principled. I know it would hurt MAGA. They propose this stuff like it helps third parties. Please help me out. Where has ranked choice voting? I'm asking that honestly. I want to be proven wrong if I'm wrong. I haven't seen where ranked choice voting helps a third party candidate. They say it does. I haven't seen that play out anywhere. I think it's the opposite. I've seen libertarians want this. I don't know what you're thinking. Libertarians, you have no chance at all of anything under this system, in my opinion. I always leave room to be wrong, though. Let me go to this article, this Reason article. So this Reason article details that in their opinion, this is an opinion piece. In their opinion, ranked choice voting worked. That's not a fact. That's an opinion. Partisan outrage over Sarah Palin's defeat shouldn't obscure the obvious benefits of better voting systems. So look how they described it. I'm going to get to the problem here. For the second time in 4 months, Sarah Palin's attempted political comeback was foiled by voters in Alaska. I'm talking about ranked choice voting. This isn't about the arguing whether Sarah Palin is a good choice or not. That's a different video. But what happened is Alaska is red, yet in their one district in the whole state, they got Representative Mary Peltola. So Peltola won the seats lone. It was shocking. This is absolutely shocking for a Democrat to win. No Democrat hadn't won there in forever, for a long time. So she defeated Palin in a special election, then defeated her again. And why? It was because of ranked choice voting. They say people complaining are just partisan hacks. No, I'm not a partisan hack. Even if ranked choice voting helped MAGA, I would be against it on principle. And here's why. If you don't know how it works, here's how it works. It's very convoluted. To see how it works in practice, you break it down, and if you look at this, you have the Democrat Peltola. She's the incumbent because she won that special election. She's not like some longtime incumbent. Peltola, Palin, Begich, and Bai. So those are the top 4 people in this, and then you have write-ins. So the way that it works is you go through rounds. You don't have primaries. It depends on how your state sets it up or your area sets it up, but you don't have primaries. You just put all the different parties in one race. and then you do runoffs until the top person has the plurality of votes. And here's how it works. So you look at it in the first round. This is awful. In the first round, Chris Bai of the Libertarian Party is the loser. So he's the lowest votes. Nobody has a plurality. Mary Patola had 48. So you keep going until Mary Patola has over 50%. Chris Bai is the loser of the first round, the last place. So what you do is when you do the voting, you rank each candidate. So if you voted for the Libertarian Chris Bai, you have to vote, okay, who's my first choice? Chris Bai. Who's my second choice? Who's my third choice? Who's my fourth choice? And as you can see, I'm not going to get to the details to make this video too long, but as you can see, the votes that went to the second place from Chris Bai go in the second round to the other person. So what that does is allows compounding effects of money. Because if you look at it, they're excited about this because Begich is the Republican. He's more, I don't know what he is. He's kind of like his father was a politician. He's more establishment type. He's not, so Sarah Palin is considered the extremist. This is very, Elon Musk, I guarantee you Elon Musk would love ranked choice voting. Mark Cuban loves it. Andrew Yang loves it. Why? Because it funnels you into the uniparty. More money means you have more exposure. So there's more chances that even if you voted for Chris Bai, they don't care that you voted for Chris Bai. He's not going to win. He's the libertarian candidate. So they're more care more about who did you vote second, third, and fourth. So if you vote Chris Bai, maybe you voted, it's more likely that you voted, believe it or not, to Patola or enough to Patola to push her over the top. That's what happened with Begich. Voters who had picked Begich as their first choice had their ballots distributed to their second place choice, of course, unless the second choice was Bai, while Bai voters, because Bai is out of the race by this time. So when you look at it, as you might expect, the majority of Begich's ballots ended up in Palin's pile. It's not it wasn't like 90%. It was a big enough a second place, so people voted the Republican and said, Sarah Palin is the extremist. I would rather the Democrat win. So Mary Patola was the second place and put her up over 50%. Let me show you why that ties into money. And that's my end. All it does is it funnels you into big money. I went to Open Secrets, and this is just from the campaign, not even outside sources. Outside sources makes this worse. Mary Patola raised almost $7.5 million. Sarah Palin raised $2 million. And then what you can do is Patola and Begich raised $1.4 million. If you do a traditional plurality of votes, then the money that Begich uses doesn't help Patola that much. If you do a traditional like primary with just Republicans and Democrats. But if you put them all together, Begich's money basically compounds with Mary's money, meaning that if someone votes for Begich, they are more likely, or there's enough of them that are likely to vote for Patola. Because Patola won't diss Begich, she'll diss Palin as the extremist and suck up the second place vote for Begich. Do you see what I mean? I don't want to get too convoluted. Hopefully I explained that well enough. It's a scam. It's bigger than demonizing, like the Biden speech, demonizing MAGA supporters, in my opinion, bigger than even the money, outspending, bigger than the Ponzi schemes in the money. You saw the money outspending MAGA candidates. The ideas of MAGA candidates are so good. America First candidates are so good. They have to team up. They have to use Ponzi schemes. And then now they have to use ranked choice voting, which is an absolute fraud. Convince me that I'm wrong. And visit middlemaga.com if you want to see the links to it. Please help me save me from being an idiot if you disagree with me here. Because I know there's a lot of people on the populist left who love this thing. It's disgusting. You would never have a true populist left anti-war candidate win in that type of system because they will never have the money. You're really going against the other establishment candidates. So you would be more likely to have Mitt Romney types, Amy Klobuchar types. And they don't care if it's a Democrat or Republican, as long as it's an establishment type. Let me know what you think. Thanks a lot. Take care.